Hey, just when I was in Florida, there was this lady with she's a preacher and she was wearing a turnback collar, like if she's some clergy or whatever. And she was handing out food. So she says, Lord, I pray that you bless this pork and this and that. And God said clearly that He has clean and unclean meats and He has to see the clean meats. So He's not going to bless no unclean meat. So I know that she's crazy or her theology is straight or something. So the question is, what's it up with eating pork and crab and shrimp and all these stuff? No, you got to remember that in the Jewish economy, everything was religious and everything came out of religion because education is religious and education started in religion. So today we have the CDC that's going to be dealing with health. But in those days, the prophets dealt with health because they hadn't advanced in science. And some of the things that CDC is developing is what God had told the prophets to tell the people. So they're now discovering that this is that. But if you follow the scriptures, already God says it's not good. So he said that we have clean unclean animals. He says the ones that have parted hoof and the chew the cuds are good to eat. And he said fish that have scales are good to eat. And so on. So crab and all that stuff, he says not to eat. And when you look at clearly what he's saying is that things like cows and sheep and goat and some other animals have, the parted hoof and they chew the cud. Now, rabbits chew the cud, but their hoofs are not parted in two. It's parted in like they have like cat sort of paws, so they're not the fittest to eat, so on. People say chicken just eat all kind of nastiness, then good to eat. Well, you do have to tell God that it seems as if they qualify for being clean. Okay. The deal is that, as I said, it came out of religion, but it's not a religious thing. It's a health thing. We had Babylon, Nebuchadnezzar captured Israel, and the boys Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and Daniel were among those who he had captured, the brightest and the princes of the nation, so that he would train them in Babylonian and things. So when they go back, they're going to be like leaders and they will be loyal to Babylon. Same thing Britain and other nations, America and other nations do. Take the wise, train them, and hope that they're going to do what is done in that society back home and be loyal to them and as allies and whatever. And they said, King, we're not going to eat what you have on your table because this is unclean. We're going to eat water and lentils and rice and beans and so on. And we're telling you that within a certain period, we're going to be healthier than the others who are going to eat your stuff. And they tried it and bingo, they were. But the king kept on eating his pork and the other things like that. So the chase is this. The fish that has scales usually don't eat scavenge. So the skin fish, they call them bottom dwellers. And they eat the dead and the diseased and the other animals in the sea. And especially in places where feces go into the waterway, they are the bottom there, eat the feces. Now, feces have, the E. coli bacteria and other bacteria and other things that, not healthy to waste. And when they eat it, it gets into their flesh, and when you eat them, you eating that. But I've never met a person that says, you know what, people that eat snake, in Texas they do barbecue snake, and people eat alligator, and people eat lion and tiger, they eat all kinds of stuff just to convince themselves, man, go sit and eat this, I'm going to eat it, and it's fun, it's good. And I mean, again, I'm 58 and I look a lot better than some people in 30 years old. So that pork, for example, I don't eat pork, and people say, why you don't eat pork, man? Some guys just sit down by me and say, man, give me the pork, you don't like it. I give it to them. I mean, if it's extremely important where there's a disaster and there's nothing, and you need proteins, I'm going to eat, anything perhaps. It depends how things going on God. I check with him, and if it's good, and if I'm not getting a sandwich by the angels and so forth, I'm going to have to get my proteins. And if I can't get it through beans, nuts, and so forth, I have to use some flesh or something. And so I've never heard of a person who eats a whole snake and for a whole month be eating snakes, like for example like diamondback or cobra, because he's gonna die. Okay, you see, this snake would stung an animal and eat that animal, and the poison doesn't bother him. And you know, this fang is in his mouth, and some of the poison sometimes is just pump out and go down his system, and it's no problem because his body has that anti venom or whatever it takes to neutralize it. So when you go and eat him, you're getting that poison. Now, you see, if you eat just a little piece of the snake, you just get a little piece of the poison. But if you eat the whole snake, even the head and the fangs and everything, you will die for real. And God also said that you shouldn't eat the blood because most of the poison will be in the blood, or most of the whatever you're supposed to eat will be in the blood. There was a guy in Trinidad, he caught a vulture. We were told not to eat vultures, and he grabbed the vulture, take it home and cook it, and he ended up in the hospital because vultures eat the most putrefying and stink and wormy piece of carcass on the side of the road, and that thing gets into the body. And again, he has a system that it doesn't kill him, but in his blood, in his cells, are those virus and those bacteria and those inflammation and all this nasty stuff. And I mean, the crow and the snake is an extreme example of the thing. But the others, their bodies are made in such a way that they have chemicals or whatever it takes to not be harmed by those things they're eating. And our bodies don't have that kind of environment. In fact, those things would harm our bodies. So that's the point God was making. You have to make it in the scriptures because, as I said, the prophets were the ones who God instructed on the health issues. All right, and even though the books were nailed to the cross, the books of the laws, the health laws are still in place. What was really nailed to the cross is the instructions leading to the sacrificial system. This lamb to offer, this turtle dove for this sin, and so forth. Those were nailed to the cross. But the health rules are still in effect today. That's why I don't eat unclean stuff. I don't eat crab, I don't eat shrimp, I don't eat scalefish, all them oyster and all them lobster and so forth, because this guy in Canada, he invited this young girl over and he got some mussels and he boiled it and he thinks it's an aphrodisiac and he's gonna get busy with this girl. It killed him because it had some red plague, some red bacteria or something, and he didn't know it, just killed him. But if I'm eating a clean fish and it has that bacteria, I expect God is going to take that poison out. Right? Because he says that they eat the clean fish and eating the clean one after praying to him and asking him to, bless it and take care of it. I don't think I'll die like that. That's it. Why I don't eat the unclean things, and I'm not in a bad shape. I mean, I'm 58 and I still think that I could fight with some of these young boys out there. I mean, I want to, the last day I'm on earth, no young boy can come and take my check and my lunch money, say, you go home, old man. No, I'm going to give a fight for that, bro. You know what I mean? I want to be able to take care of business. I must be able to control my affairs. I must be able to, be able to check my money. And I should be able to give you a fight if you try to take my money. You see what I'm saying? I have a fight in me that, it's extraordinary for my age. Okay? I still think that I want to take on Florida with my child, but, what can I do? I'm not, whatever. The day is going to come and I'm going to ask them to give me my child again. Okay?